What if everything you thought was just acting was actually something real, slowly falling apart? What if the most unforgettable K-drama chemistry was never supposed to be seen by fans? Because when it comes to Cha Eun-woo and Moon Ji-young, there's a timeline, a pattern, and a few moments that fans still can't explain, and once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. The beginning that felt different. Every production starts the same way. Script readings, first meetings, polite introductions. But sometimes something shifts early, according to fans who followed every behind-the-scenes clip. There was no awkward phase between them, no getting to know each other. From day one, they moved like they had already met before. Not officially, but like two people who somehow understood each other instantly. During early rehearsals, their interactions felt natural, almost effortless. They didn't over-rehearse scenes. They didn't force reactions. Instead, they responded to each other. And that's rare, because in K-dramas, chemistry is usually built, but this looked like it was already there. When acting stopped looking like acting, as filming progressed, fans began noticing something unusual. Their emotional scenes didn't feel performed. They felt lived in. There were moments where lines were delivered, but what stood out wasn't the dialogue, it was the silence in between. The micro-expressions, the tiny reactions, like when Cha Eun-woo would slightly pause before speaking, as if waiting for a real response, not a scripted one. Or when Moon Ji-young would break into a smile that didn't match the tone of the scene, and instead of cutting, they kept going, almost like neither of them wanted to interrupt the moment. Fans started asking, why does this feel so real? The unscripted moments. Then came the behind-the-scenes footage, and that's when things got even more interesting. Because off-camera, nothing really changed. They still stood close. Still laughed easily, still seemed completely comfortable. In one clip, they were seen talking quietly while everyone else prepared for the next shot. No cameras focusing on them, no audience, but their expressions? Soft, relaxed, personal. And then they noticed the camera, and instantly everything changed. They stepped apart, adjusted their posture, and just like that, they were back to being CO stars. That moment alone raised questions, because it felt like something had been interrupted. The viral edits that spread everywhere. It didn't take long before fans started compiling everything. Every glance, every smile, every almost moment. Videos started trending. Titles like, "This wasn't in the script. They forgot the cameras were on. Real or acting?" Millions of views poured in. And the comments? They all said the same thing. You can't fake this. But not everyone agreed. Some viewers believed it was just great acting, professionalism, experience. But even then, there were moments that didn't fit that explanation. The interview that felt too quiet. Then came that interview, the one that changed everything. The setting was simple, bright lights, casual questions, nothing out of the ordinary. Until one moment, the host asked something light, and before answering, Cha Eun-woo turned to look at Moon Ji-young, not quickly, not casually, but slowly, and she looked back. No one spoke for just a second, but it felt longer, and in that silence there was something unspoken. Fans immediately noticed, because it didn't feel like two actors waiting for their turn to speak. It felt like two people sharing a moment they weren't supposed to have, when the energy shifted and then everything changed. No announcement, no explanation, just a shift. Suddenly, during later promotions, they weren't as close anymore. Their interactions became formal, Careful, measured, they answered questions separately, avoided overlapping responses, maintained just enough distance to look normal. But that's exactly what made it feel strange, because before, nothing about them felt controlled, the event that sparked concern. Then came the event fans can't forget. A major appearance, cameras everywhere. They stood next to each other. But it was different. No shared smiles, no quiet conversations, just two individuals, standing side by side. At one point, they were both asked to react to a question, and instead of looking at each other like before, they didn't, not even once. And that's when fans realized. This wasn't random. It was intentional. Theories start taking over. The internet quickly filled the silence with theories. Some believed they had a disagreement. Others thought external pressure forced them apart. But one theory stood out, the idea that what we saw in the beginning was real, and what we saw at the end was the result of something ending, not publicly, not dramatically, but quietly. The moment that didn't match the distance, but just when everyone thought the distance was permanent, something unexpected happened. During one final appearance, for a brief moment, their eyes met again, and everything felt familiar, not distant, not cold, just the same as before. And then it was gone like it never happened, but fans caught it, and once again the questions came back. What was real and what wasn't? So now we're left with a story that doesn't have a clear ending, just moments, fragments, clues. Was it all just acting, or was it something more that had to stay hidden? Because sometimes the most convincing performances aren't performances at all. They're real emotions, carefully controlled in front of millions. And maybe what made their story unforgettable wasn't the way it started, but the way it quietly disappeared. Disclaimer: this story is based on fan observations, online discussions, and interpretations, and should be considered allegedly for entertainment purposes only. If you saw those moments too, then you already know why people can't let this go. Was it real? Or just the best acting we've ever seen? Comment what you think, and subscribe to the Seoul Scriptz, because the next story might reveal something even deeper.